What's up, everyone? I'm sitting down today in Stockholm, in Sweden, with Arif Alexander Ahmad. What's up? Thank you for welcoming me here. It's a pleasure. We want to talk about the broker SCM, which is a broker I'm visiting right now, who's Arif is the chief founder.
Yeah, one of the founding partners. Yeah.
Excellent. So we'll talk about the broker, kind of why you do this, and left things around. I know people want to know about the broker, so we'll go through the same parts that we usually go through for the brokers that I review, and do something solid. So we'll talk about through the steps. If you guys have any questions, just make sure you comment below in the comment section, and we'll get back to you after on this. So Arif, well, thank you for welcoming me here. Of course, a pleasure. And I kind of want to know first a bit of background about yourself. Tell people who you are and kind of what you do also.
Sure. So I basically started in the FX industry 2008. So actually started as a junior salesman with another wealth management company here in Sweden. And I started to accumulate quite a substantial client book. Took care of a lot of clients from Asia, the Middle East and Europe. And started growing book, got into trading, started trading on my own, and one thing led to another, and I thought that I could do it much better myself.
Yeah, this is a common thing for most people.
Yeah, exactly. So that's really where the idea for Scandinavian Capital Markets started, whereby we kind of saw that there was no, purely Swedish or Scandinavian SDP broker at the time. The industry has been dominated by the UK many years, Cyprus, Malta, Israel. So we thought that it's about time that there's a Scandinavian broker that really enters the market and the scene. Scandinavian, Sweden in particular has a good reputation of being safe. Secure jurisdiction to invest your funds in, and we thought that a lot of the clients that I at least spoke to put a lot of trust in Sweden as a country. So it's known by Volvo, IKEA, H&M. So our goal was kind of to become like the Volvo of FX, so to speak, to be that safe alternative for a lot of people that, might have been maybe burnt by a lot of, shady brokers in Malta or Cyprus or other offshore jurisdictions, so to speak.
Yes, this is a big thing because people might know brokers that are in like Cyprus, like you said, Belize, and people sometimes don't know that the broker are there. It's kind of like they're there, but people don't really know.
Right.
And so having a broker that's in a country with more regulation, I think is very, very helpful.
Sure.
Some things that people should consider, I think. So that's a really good thing. Now, I want to go to some things that kind of people wonder about and some kind of categories that people want to know more. The first thing is platform. So people want to know kind of what platform they can use with you if they want to trade with the broker SCM.
Sure. So obviously we offer the MT4 platform, which is obviously the most popular retail platform out there. So we offer that. We offer API trading, and we are currently actually working on a proprietary platform that we will launch in the next couple of months, which will be called Scandex. Now, Scandex will be more geared towards, I guess, the institutional clientele. So we're really targeting more professional, seasoned traders with that. Your family offices, institutional type, fund of funds or hedge funds, because it has a lot better tools to be able to do the trading essentially. So but that's still under development, so it's nothing that we've launched, but currently we offer the MT4, and hopefully in the coming years, in 2019 we will offer the institutional platform as well.
Okay.
So it's kind of like current X, but we're hoping to create a 10 times better current X, so to speak.
So what are some tools that some of the institutional traders or bigger traders would need as opposed to retail traders?
Right, so that's a good question. So with the MT4, for an example, you are limited in certain aspects of your trading. So you can't see market depth, for an example. So with an institutional platform, you can see the different layers and prices of the market, which you can't necessarily see on the MT4. So if you're clicking a 50 lot trade on the MT4, you only see one price. You don't see the other. You only see the top of book. You don't see the other layers. Of the pricing, so to speak. But with an institutional type platform, you will be able to see that, and that's very important for a more seasoned, professional trader to be able to see what the true cost of trading will be.
Now, I think these platforms sometimes can be too complicated to use for a beginner or someone starting out in trading.
Sure.
Do you think your platform is going to be able to use, like, that the beginner will be able to use it, or it's going to be more tricky?
Well,
or it's really for the kind of professional.
Yeah, exactly.
people?
So, we're trying to, we don't really want to be a one-trick pony. We want to, give alternatives and options to our traders, kind of, give them a menu. So, I guess, for this type of a trading platform will be more geared towards, institutions. So, for a beginner, I would say it's probably better to, focus on, the MT4 if you want to learn. And if you want to kind of make your mistakes, quote unquote, it's better to do them on the MT4 because, as you say, it might be a bit too complicated, for a newbie or a new beginner to be able to, trade on a more sophisticated platform. So my recommendation would probably be to start off on a simpler, platform like MT4.
So the thing is, you could very easily start with MT4 and then move to that later. That second platform later.
That's exactly, and that's what a lot of traders do. A lot of the best traders I know have started on a demo account, and they started on a demo account. They burned a couple of demo accounts. They made their mistakes, and it's a lot about trial and error in this industry. You have to learn by doing. You do a lot of mistakes, and then hopefully you learn by them, and then you advance. So it's kind of like you have to crawl before you can walk, and you have to walk before you can run. So
that's well said. Exactly. Totally agree with that. Let's talk about leverage and money management. I think one of the big aspects of your broker SCM is the fact that there are some rules in terms of leverage, but not the same as other places in Europe.
Sure.
So how does that work exactly?
Sure. So it's interesting because obviously we are, we're based out of Sweden. Sweden does not necessarily draft the FX specific laws in this country like they do in the UK or the US, for an example. So we are registered with the Swedish FSA here, which is the regulatory body. However, there is no, I guess, clear regulation in terms of, what leverage you can utilize or what leverage you can offer, for an example, because, they don't draft FX specific laws. So what that means is that, we are, registered with them. We adhere, to their AML and money laundering policies. They do yearly background checks of the owners. We do, yearly reporting to the FSA as well. But here, it's less of a regulatory burden in this country as opposed to, I guess, the NFA in the US or, the FCA in the UK, so to speak. So, that's why we're still able to offer 100 to 1 leverage. And, we can also offer a lot of the conditions that people were used to before, such as rebates and commissions and stuff like that. So we can still offer those type of conditions.
That's awesome. Can people change the leverage in the platform easily? How does that work?
No, so the default usually is that they get 100 to 1 leverage. Yeah. So that's as far as we can go.
And then if they want to, let's say, change it to avoid making a mistake or something, can they do it online?
Well, I would more recommend them to just trade smaller lot sizes. So instead of on a 100K account, instead of trading 30 lots or 40 lots or 50 lots or whatever, just reduce your lot sizing, and that will automatically reduce your leverage as well.
Okay.
So yeah.
Okay. What about withdrawals? So when someone makes money trading, and let's say they do it for a living, then of course they want to withdraw money to get it back in their bank account or something.
Sure.
How can they do this? Do they have multiple ways of doing it? And how's the process?
Right. So it's very simple and straightforward process. They just go into their back office portal and simply request the withdrawal. And typically the withdrawal is done within 24 hours. And depending on which bank you have, it's typically received within 2 to 3 banking days. If you're in Europe, if you're in the Middle East or Asia, that really depends if there's an intermediary bank, but I would say no longer than 4 to 5 business days usually.
Okay. And the other thing is with deposits. So how do people deposit money to their account? Is there multiple ways? Can they do it by credit card or some other things?
So because we try to stay away from smaller deposits, and it's purely because we want to we are more, I guess, targeted towards clients that deposit at least 2,500 and above, because we kind of want to avoid the gambling clients. We want to build a long-term relationship to our clients. So for our, you can basically transfer via bank transfer. So we have 3 options available. We work with 3 of the biggest Swedish banks, which is Swedbank, Nordea, and SEB. These are basically the banks. They're among the most well-capitalized banks in all of Europe. So they have a tier 1 core capital ratio of about 21 to 22%, whereas the European average is around 12 to 13%. So it's a significant, difference in terms of how well capitalized they actually are.
Okay.
So we typically accept our clients' funds via bank transfer.
Okay. So wire transfer.
Wire transfer, okay. Exactly.
Awesome. And I don't think that's a big problem, because you can do it online on the bank platform that you use or something of the sort.
Yeah.
So it's not a big issue.
Yeah.
I think it's pretty good.
Yeah.
Awesome. Regarding spread and commission, you said you want to move to a different structure for that and different account types. So maybe we cannot kind of dive into exactly the details of every spread and everything. Mm-hmm. But what are some things to consider? Like, is it pretty similar to other brokers? Mm-hmm. And what can people expect?
Right. So we obviously try and be competitive. It's quite funny though, because I have a lot of clients sometimes that have been used to the sort of B-book broker attitude, whereby they market 0 pip spreads and $0 commissions, and then they come to me and they're like, hey, I'm getting 0 pip spreads with that broker, or I'm getting 0 commissions with that broker. And we're not, because we're a purely STP model, agency model broker, we only live off of commissions and spreads, so we don't internalize risk. We don't have a dealing desk, and frankly we don't make money off of people losing their money, which is how a lot of other brokers essentially make their money off, and that's their business model. So for us, we try and be competitive. I would say some of our accounts, we offer raw spreads on some of our more sort of seasoned professional accounts, and typically the commission is around $10 per lot, so 5 in and 5 out. Mm-hmm. So we try and be competitive, and I think that's it's worked so far. We have no complaints from our clients. They know that they're paying for safety and security. Yeah. You might have an offshore broker, for example, offering very low commissions and very low spreads, but at the same time, you're not really getting the safety and security that you want. So with us, at least, you get the peace of mind that you are working with a company that's in a serious jurisdiction, which is Sweden and Scandinavia, and which is registered with the regulatory body, and you're dealing with very well capitalized banks. That's really what our focus is, to give a good and fair and equitable trading environment for our clients to be able to succeed in their trading. And sometimes it's hard enough to succeed in the markets, because the markets are very tough to trade. Yeah. But then having the broker against you as well, I mean, it's impossible, right?
Yeah.
So we try and eliminate that, at least, so that our traders can succeed and make money, and we can keep them and retain them for a long period of time. That's really our job, to be able to make them successful traders, to be able to help them, with whatever we can to provide a safe and secure trading environment, so that they can ultimately succeed, and that's how we want to, be what we want to be focusing on.
Yeah, and I think this is one of the strengths of the brokers, the regulation and the safety, plus the fact that people can get more more leverage out of their account if they need. So it's
Right.
not the same regulation as other countries. And the other thing I think where you stand out a lot is our last point, which is like customer service and the user interface. So how you interact with customers. I think
Right.
that's pretty unique.
Right, right. Oh, absolutely. I think customer, service is absolutely pivotal in this industry, because at the end of the day, more or less everyone has the same type of technology. They have the same type of platform, and what really stands out, I think, will be the customer service. So from our side, we try and focus a lot on customer service. A lot of my clients, for an example, they even have me on WhatsApp, we're not the biggest broker yet. We're not the smallest broker, but I would say we are the most personable broker. So we really take care of our clients, and that's kind of, I guess, going back to the philosophy of Volvo, that's where we really got our inspiration. If you look at Volvo, for an example, as a car maker and a car manufacturer, they actually invite all of their clients to their manufacturer, into their factory, to see how the car parts and the car is actually made. To see how the various components are installed and how the car is fabricated, and that's exactly what we want to do. So we invite our clients over to Stockholm. We meet them. We listen to their stories. They hear our stories. And I think a lot of that has been eliminated from this industry, because everything is looked at as an MT4 account. Everything is on screens and a number. You're just a number. So we kind of want to go back to the old school way of doing business, where you shake hands, you see your clients, you see who they are, they see us, they know who we are, where we were located, and I think that creates a lot more healthier business relationship, where you actually know the people that you're doing business with. Because half of the time, for a lot of these brokers or clients, there's no personal relationship there. It's everything's done online through screens, and I think that can in some ways give room for a lot of greed. I would say that's this industry has unfortunately been through many years. So I think that's really our key, is that we want to really focus on relationship. We want to be a human broker, where we're accessible, and if there is an issue, we try and solve it, because at the end, nothing is perfect in life, right? So clients can overlook and oversee the fact that there might be a technology issue, but they will never overlook that you ignoring them as a broker, or not hearing what their needs are, So I think that's really what we want to focus on, and that's what we want to be known for,
That's awesome. Do you have any restriction of who you can accept as the broker? Like, are there any countries or provinces or states that you cannot accept? Or
well, obviously there's the usual suspects. We can't accept U.S. clients unless they're an ECP, which is an eligible contract participant, which means that they have north of $10 million in their bank account. So they're basically classified as a sophisticated client.
Okay.
And then obviously there's the countries that are in the sanction list. I guess Iran would be, Cuba, North Korea, Sudan, some of these countries. So those are typically countries that we cannot, deal with. But apart from that, our clientele is mainly European, Middle East, and Asia, I would say. And we get occasionally some from Latin America and Africa as well.
Okay.
Yeah.
Awesome. That's good. So we'll put some link below if you guys want to check out Scandinavian Capital Markets. Where can people find you if they have questions, they want to reach out to you? Can they write to you? Or
Yeah, sure.
How can they contact you?
Yeah, my email is arif@scmforex.com. So they're more than happy, feel free to, email me whatever questions they have, and if they want to set up a meeting or a Skype call, or, we'll be more than, accessible to them and whatever questions they may have.
Awesome. So Arif, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Awesome. And you guys check out the link below. Contact Arif if you want. And we'll catch you back here pretty soon.